Hi everyone, in today's video we are going to be giving out some helpful tips to improve your building if you are just starting out, have just started Bloxburg. These are going to be perfect tips for you, and I am going to be building a house so you guys can follow along with that too, or you can just watch the video to learn some tips and build your own house. So yeah, let's get to the video.
Yeah, I was down but now I'm up. I was down but now I'm up. Yeah, it's all God, this ain't no love. Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, I'm Lee and I post every week on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some tips that I wish I had known when I first started playing Bloxburg. Bloxburg can be a very intimidating game to start playing because there are so many features and so many things that you need to learn. And you also don't want to look like you have a noob house. So this is for those people that want to learn some more about Bloxburg and how to build. This is going to be the basics. So if you are a new Bloxburg player, this is absolutely perfect for you. I'm going to be building a house in this too, so you guys can build the house with me. It's going to be step by step, kind of like a speed build, but I am going to be walking you through it step by step. So yeah, let's just get into the video. I'm going to teach you some quick, simple things that you need to know before you start building this house. So the first thing is grid right here. So there are 3 different grids, and you start out with this one when you first go into build mode. So there is this large grid right here, which is the biggest, and it just kind of allows you to kind of place stuff in the center of a wall or anything like that. This one is just a little bit smaller than the other one, and then this one basically lets you place the block wherever. Now let's say I would place this block right down here and I didn't like it, but if I go to delete it, which is this trash can icon right here, and I click on that and I go to delete it, I will only get $95 when it was actually $100. So I want my extra $5 back, right? So I'm going to do, instead of deleting it, is I'm going to click this arrow right here. It's undo. So we're going to click on that, and that will undo it. Now, if you wanted that block back, then you could just click this redo button, and it would put it right back there. So that is the undo and redo in the grid. So now right here is the levels. So if you had a 2-story house, then you would use these, or if you had a basement game pass. If you have multiple floors game pass, or if you have a basement game pass, then you can use these, but if you don't, then you cannot, and we will not be using any game passes in this build. Okay, and then this next one is for advanced placement, so that is also Game Pass. If you don't have that, then you can't use it, but basically it allows you to place blocks inside of each other. Like you could place them like that if you wanted to. It just helps a lot. I definitely recommend getting that Game Pass. And then next, but we won't be using that Game Pass in this house, just so you know, icon right here, this house icon right here, you can click on that, and it will just remove the roof. That way you can see a little better, and you can go into the house and just look at it a little better. And then you can also put it back on and take it off. It's not permanent like that, so if you just left the house toggle off like this and then you went out of build mode, the roof would just immediately come back. Then the next one is the scale tool, which you could use if you had the advanced placement Game Pass. Basically it just allows you to make these bigger and certain objects. And then there is this one, which you can use, but you can only use it for pillows and blankets. So like this one, you can kind of move it around if you want, and yeah, that's basically what it does. But if you wanted to buy that Game Pass, then you could also do that with basic shapes. It's a very helpful Game Pass for sure. Then this button right here will just change the time in your build mode. So just if you wanted to like see how your house looks at night, you could. If you want to see how it looks at daytime, basically like sunset, midnight. Then this one right here means that it's the time that the whole server time is, if that makes any sense. And then this last one is a bulldoze button, so you can click on that if you ever want to bulldoze your house, and it will, well, you can bulldoze it. You can basically destroy the whole thing and get money. However, you will not get all your money back, so I definitely don't recommend doing that. I just recommend working. Then these ones down here, this one right here is X, so you can go out and into build mode. And then I'm just going to click on the little house, and then I'm going to click on build mode again to get back in. This one right here lets you copy stuff, and it saves you a lot of money. So let's say I wanted to copy this bush right here. Now, before you copy stuff, you're going to want to color it beforehand. That way you can save even more money. The next one is coloring, so you can click on that, and if you hover on stuff, it will turn blue, and that means that is what you're going to end up coloring. So let's say I wanted to color the door, I could change it to any color I wanted. And then these last buttons right here are the build category. So this is going to have all of your doors, floors, walls, roof, wall trim, stairs, gardening, all sorts of stuff, fences. And then all of this in the decorate button is going to have all of your decorations like beds, lightings, plants you can put in your house, carpets, cabinets, counters, appliances, stuff for kids and babies, and just bunch of clutter. Then this next one right here is inventory, so you can click on that and that will show stuff in your inventory. If you're new, you shouldn't have anything in there. I honestly don't even know why I have these, but that is it. So yeah, go ahead and get to building. Okay, so we're going to go in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we are going to go over 1, 2, 3, just like that. And then we're going to go back 1, and then we're going to go over 2, and then we're going to go back over here to this area, and we're going to go back 1, go over 1, and then we're going to go back, then we're going to go over 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to come back over here, and we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we're going to place a wall right here. This area is going to be our garage. However, it's not actually going to be a garage. It is just going to be a area where you can park your car, just to save a little bit more money. Then we're going to go back on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to come back over here to this side, and we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're gonna go back 1, then go over 3, then we're gonna go back another 1, and then we're gonna go over to this other wall, which should be 2. Okay, that is our shape that we have right here. It does look a little wonky, but that is how it always starts out, a little wonky. People don't talk about this much, but it's mostly Bloxburg especially with building a house, it's mostly just trusting the process, because it can look a little rocky before it looks beautiful and amazing and what you actually want. Okay, and now we're going to go to the build button right here, and then we're gonna go to roof, this button right here, and then we're going to find this roof right here, which is called gable roof. We're gonna click on that, and then to place a roof, there are some options that you can do. So you can just do an automatic placement, which you just click and then it will do this, which actually does not look bad at all, except for this area right back here. I don't like this weird gable right here. I feel like that just looks kind of out of place, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to click cancel, then I'm going to click on it again, and then I'm going to click automatic placement. I'm going to click that button, and then it will let me manually place it. So I'm going to try to achieve that shape that they just did, but without that weird tiny gable in the back. So I'm going to click right here, and then I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back all the way. Then I am going to go over here. I'm going to go right here. I'm basically just doing the outline, but I'm not doing this little box area. So I'm going to click on this corner, then this corner, then this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner, this corner, this corner, and then that corner. Boom. We're just gonna check around just to make sure it looks correct, and I would say it does. I feel like that looks pretty solid, so I'm going to go ahead, fix it up a little bit to my liking. There are a lot of options you can do with your actual gable in the changing it up and seeing how you like it. Even if you do like the shape, you can also change the height, the thickness, and then how much overhang you want. So I will show you that now. So there are these little arrows you might have seen right here. Now to click on one, you're going to want to hover your mouse over them, and you're going to want to make sure that the arrow is blue. If the arrow is not blue, when you think you're hovering over it, it will click, and then you will mess up your shape like I just did. So you're definitely going to want to make sure that it is blue. So then you can change the height of it, so you can make it like really smashed looking, or you can make it look super tall, which is super expensive. So I'm just gonna change it a little bit just to my liking, and I think that looks pretty good. You can change it to your liking too. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. And then I'm going to use these arrows right here, which are, this one makes the actual gable roof kind of thicker. As you can see, like I can make it super thick, or I can make it kind of not as thick. Me personally, I do like to have them a little bit thicker. I just feel like it kind of makes it look better. I don't know. And then you can also use this arrow right here, which will bring this part of the actual gable out, so it'll give it more of an overhang, or if you don't want any overhang. I do like a little bit of overhang, just not too much, so I'm gonna just do that, just like that. I think that actually looks really good. Okay, and we're just gonna make sure to check it from all sides. Okay, so now we have one last thing that we need to do right here, which I'm just going to use a slanted roof, and I'm going to fill in this box with that. One thing that you cannot do with a gable roof, and that you can do with a slanted roof, is you can rotate it. So I will show you that in a second. We're gonna fill in this box, and then we're gonna go over one. And now you can see this is how it's shaped right now. And I don't really want it to be facing this way. Not only does it not make it look good in the back, it also doesn't look good in the front. So I'm gonna rotate it. So you can click R on your keyboard and you can rotate it. Now that you have rotated it to make it look like this, if it was already placed like that, then great, you don't have to rotate it, but I did. So then I'm just going to make it look like it's kind of going into the actual gable roof, as you can see here. I don't want it to like be just above it or too far under, because that will make it look flatter, and I don't really want that. I want it to still have that slant. Now, if you did do the thing that I just did, how to fix that is you can just hover over that red dot. You can take your red dot and hover over the red dot that you accidentally made a mistake, and you can click on it, and that will basically remove that red dot. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna move this up as far as I can. That way it is, but it's still inside the actual gable. And then I'm gonna click on one of these arrows, and I'm just gonna thicken it a little bit, and then I'm gonna bring it out a little bit. That way it kind of matches the actual overhang of the actual gable roof, which right here you can see it doesn't. So I'm just gonna, there we go. We're gonna place that down, and that looks great. So here is our house so far, looking great. Now again, trust the process, trust the process. Okay, now that we have placed our roof down, I am going to go ahead and some doors and windows down. I like to do this before I color, that way I can actually kind of get a gist of what I want and what style. So I'm going to click on this build button, then I'm going to go to doors. Now, especially with the type of house style that you're building or the colors that you want to do, now you're going to want to stay in the actual, I would say, style. So right now I'm kind of building like a modern farmhouse type thing, or just like a little farmhouse, something like that. That's kind of what I'm going after with the gable roof. Kind of just a traditional type house. So I want a traditional type door. I don't want like a modern door. Like this door really wouldn't fit with this house. I could probably make it fit, but I don't want to go that extra mile. Then also like this door doesn't really fit very much. I would rather go for maybe a more traditional door, and Bloxburg helps you out with that by naming some of the stuff right here. Then we have this one right here, which is a traditional door, and it says a tall traditional door, into like what these doors kind of are for. So you can actually kind of see what you want. So I'm gonna go for, see this one right here says tall modern door. I don't want a modern door if I'm not building a modern house. Nice traditional door. I'm kind of leaning toward this one, so I'm gonna do this one right here. This one right here, so I'm gonna click on that, and I'm just going to see how I changed my grid. That way I could make sure the door is actually in the center, because it can actually be harder to do it in the center with a small grid. You kind of don't know, okay, wait, is this the center? You know, it's easier to kind of just go to the biggest grid and then find the center. And I'm just going to go through and see what windows I like. Again, with these windows, you want to make sure that you're actually doing the correct windows for your house. You don't want to be doing some weird looking windows that don't make sense, even though weird looking windows can look good if you actually maybe are a more experienced builder. You can kind of make those work, but if you're just starting out, I would recommend kind of just doing the easier windows to work with. But I do kind of want to go in here with a different type style window, just to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to use this one right here. Now for bedrooms, and honestly any rooms, you really don't need to make them that big. Even if you're like, well, this is going to be a big bedroom or something like that, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would literally recommend just halving that bedroom in half, or making another room making two rooms out of that one room, because you're going to have to fill up that space then, and it's going to be pretty difficult. Okay, so this is the layout that we have here. We're going to have a kitchen area right here. We're going to have the living room. We're going to have a master bedroom. We're going to have a kids room. So we're going to combine a nursery and then an actual like toddler bed in there. That way you can have a kid and then also a baby if you wanted to role play. And then we also have a bathroom, and then this is our hallway right here. I feel like hallways add a lot even if it's in a small house. Okay, and then we're just gonna leave that at that, and I'm gonna go ahead and place some more windows now that we know where our actual rooms are gonna be. So I want to place a window around here because I do want to have a window where the sink is gonna be. That's kind of smaller, and I'm just going to place it a little bit higher. That way it can actually be like a little sink kitchen window right there. I'm going to place one of those right here, just like that. That way we can actually, the reason why we're doing these smaller ones and putting them up a little higher is because you actually, so obviously we wouldn't use a stove, but you can't place a stove if the window's too low. So that's why I wanted to do it. And then obviously this is the counter level too, so that will work perfectly. Okay, so that is our windows that we have there. And then have some more natural lighting. Okay, so we have already spent roughly $5,000, actually roughly $5,000 on this. Okay, so we're gonna go with this color right here, sage green, and then we're gonna go with this texture right here. Then I'm gonna go with this texture and this color. Then we're gonna do this color right here. Then I'm going to change the door handle to this cashmere color, and then I'm gonna make it metal. And for like the actual frame area, I'm just going to make it industrial white. And then I'm going to do industrial white with this texture. Okay, and then again for color schemes, I literally just looked up a color scheme because I was having struggle, and I found a color scheme that I liked, and I just tweaked it a little bit. Instead of using the blues in the color scheme, I used green because that's still summery, and also the blues without the color wheel do not look good. So yeah, and then I'm gonna go with this color and this texture right here, interior of the roof white. Then I'm going to color this part and then this texture to match that wall. We're gonna color that one industrial white, and then over here we're gonna color this one also industrial white, and then we're also gonna have to go into the materials and color it plastic. Okay, and then we're gonna go into the build category and we're gonna look for wall trims. Then we're going to go to this thin crown molding, and we're going to put that here. Bottom part of the wall trim. We're going to place that down. Okay, then we're going to color this top part here. We're going to color it white, and then we're going to color it plastic, and then we're going to go to this next area right here, and we're going to look for the same texture as this green one. So first I'm going to get the color, and then I'm going to get the texture. That's right there. Perfect. And then we're just going to put that along the stone. We're just going to put that along this, and then we're going to place one right here, but we're going to recolor it to be this stone color. So we're not going to change the first color, but we are going to change the second. We're going to place some gardening and some paths because that will definitely help out. And then we're also going to our garage area. So we're going to do that first, the garage build category, and then I'm going to click on a floor. You do not want to use paths, okay? This is a noob thing that noobs do when they're new to Bloxburg. They use paths, and they do not look good at all. Don't ever use them in my opinion, never, okay? Just use floors. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do that, but I believe in you. I know you can do it. Okay, and then for the driveway, I'm just gonna do a straight path because that just kind of looks better. Okay, so that is our path so far. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to go in these little areas right here, and I'm gonna place some flooring there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to color it brown, and then I'm gonna go here and we're gonna look for the texture sand. Right here, I want to use that. That mimics dirt to make it just your gardening end up looking a lot better. So I definitely recommend that. So I'm gonna put that. Okay, now we're gonna go into gardening. So these are the things that we have unlocked, since if you have done gardening, then you might have a couple more, but these are just the things that I have unlocked. So what we're gonna use is this bush right here. It's a very nice bush, except for the only thing is the texture. I don't like the texture in my opinion, so what I do is I go and change the color too, because the color is kind of obnoxious. It's kind of too bright for me. I don't really like it, so I just change it up. You can either make it lighter, darker, whatever you want. And I like to go in with a couple other colors too. So all I'm gonna do is that color, and then I'm gonna go in the search and I'm gonna type for leaf. So then these will pop up, and you can do small leaves if you want, or you can use big leaves. I'm gonna do the big leaves. I like them better. And there you have it. Now you have these beautiful bushes, and then I'm also going to get out a tree. Now these are the only trees that you have. They honestly aren't the worst in my opinion. So I'm going to place a couple of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color them first, that way it just is a little better, and I'm going to change the colors of all these. So we're going to make these trees look a little better by changing the color of them. So I'm going to do this color for the actual wood, and then we're going to look up bark in the textures. And then we're also going to go back into the textures right here, and I'm going to look up leaf again. You can use big leaves, small leaves. I'm going to do small leaves for this one. And that already makes the tree look 10 times better. Okay, there are those trees right there. And then I'm gonna place one as close as I can to the actual house right there. It isn't in the dirt area, but that's perfectly fine. So those are our trees looking good. Now we're going to put a light in here, and just a quick side note, you do need to use linen for your lighting. It helps so much, and you do not want to use whites or crazy colors because that will make you definitely look like a noob in any public server. So take my advice. I did purposefully make the backyard kind of empty, that way you could add your own stuff like a little playground or something like that if you're going to role play. So I just kind of left it bare, that way you could add some stuff if you wanted. But that is it for the exterior. Sorry. Now we're gonna go into the interior and start doing that. So first, I'm gonna start off by coloring some of the walls and just getting the base stuff done. But I think I'm gonna have sort of the same color scheme come in to the interior. I'm gonna put down some floor in this room, and to put down floor the easiest way, especially if it's just one room, you can just right click and then you can look at your whole entire build and see where this like kind of faded white color is. Right here, this transparent white color that lets you see the grass still. And you definitely don't want that to be going in another room where there already is flooring. So I'm gonna go yes with that one. And if it does have angles or edges, like here, I'll show you. So if a room has this, then you're not gonna be able to do that because of this angle right here. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to take your flooring, so I'm gonna copy it, and you're just gonna want to take it and you're gonna go into each corner like this, and you're gonna right click and then you're gonna go again like that. That will just make it look the best and it won't make your flooring look super glitched out. So I definitely recommend that if you do have a corner in your house, which is perfectly fine. You can totally have that. Just obviously put your flooring in correct, or else it can look janky and slanted, and that is definitely a noob move. So for the flooring, I went ahead and did a wood color because I just feel like that is a little bit more summery than a carpet, but you can totally do that if you would like. Again, this video is honestly just a guide on building just to help you out. For the kitchen, I did checkers with the marble texture, and then I did white for some textures, and then I did a gray color for the other ones. I think the textures turned out really good, and honestly it makes the kitchen look extra almost fancy, I guess, even if you don't have as much stuff you're adding to it. Now for the walls, I went with kind of a off-white color to make it not as harsh on the eyes. And now we are doing an accent wall. Now accent walls need to not be crazy textures. If they don't match your build, then it will end up looking crazy and like a noob's house. So I like to go for sometimes a wood texture or something that's kind of not too crazy and bright, but it still makes the house, it complements the decorations and the building. So that's what you're looking for when you're doing an accent wall. And now we're going to do a couple door frames into the hallways, into the kitchen, and then also into the actual hallway. So we're going to do one a little bit bigger and one a little bit smaller. Now if you want to splurge on some more expensive ones, then you totally can, but these were just nice and cheap and they don't look too bad. And then also for the flooring, I am just keeping it all the same throughout the house except for the kitchen, which I did checkers. And then for the walls, I'm doing all of them white except for one wall in the bedroom, in the master bedroom. And then I'm just going to do the cheapest wall trim for the upper wall trim, I guess you could say, and then the bottom wall trim. And then in the kitchen and the bathroom, I did the same wall trim, which was basically meant to be looking like a backsplash for the kitchen, and then just some tiling in the bathroom. That can help a lot in your house to make it look more realistic. And then again, for the doors, I am going to color them all first, and I'm going to give them gold accents as handles, and then I'm going to copy those for the other rooms. That way it saves money. Now that we have put down all of our baseboards and colored our walls and put down the flooring, we can now get to the fun part, which is decorating. For the living room, we're just going to place down some of the essentials and then go from there. So I'm going to go to the category decorate, and I'm going to go to comfort. Again, I'm going to show you guys a little trick that I learned a couple months ago, and I've been playing Bloxburg for 4 years, is that whenever you take a seat or something that someone can sit on and you take it out of build mode, it is instantaneously where the person can sit is going to face towards the mailbox right here. It's going to face towards the mailbox. So what you want to do is, especially if you can't see like a backing or like a pillow, you just want to remember that it's always going to face towards the mailbox. So if I place this down right now, my character will face towards the mailbox if my character sits on it. So what you want to do is you want to keep your eye on that, and you just want to rotate it to be rotated wherever you want your character to actually face. So for the couch, I went with the texture small flowers, and then I also colored it green, bringing in the green from the outside into the interior. Now, you do not have to do with this all your builds. I just sometimes like to do it if I have a good color on the exterior, and that also makes a really good house if the interior and exterior kind of match. Now for furniture in your house, you're going to want to make the furniture match, so you're going to want to make it look all cohesive, so with the same colors and everything like that. So what I like to do with my furniture is I like to add a gold accent throughout my build, and I add that normally with my furniture, just to add a little extra to it and make it look a little better. Now to get flowers, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place down flowers next to your character and then get out of build mode, and then you can click on it and you can click store, and then that will help you store the flowers, and then you can go into your inventory and click place, and then you can place them in the vase. Now for picture frames and everything like that, you also want to make them look cohesive. You don't want to be coloring anything too bright of colors. I like to keep the picture frames actually like a wood color to help me out a little bit. So I would recommend doing that just because it looks a little better, but you can also use plastic. Now for the kitchen, I put gold accents throughout the whole entire kitchen just to keep that throughout the whole house. And then I also put down only 3 cabinets since it wouldn't allow me to put any others down. I put down some curtains and I added gold accents to those. And then I put down some essentials like a coffee maker, a toaster, and stuff like that. And even in the kitchen, you can tell how I did bring the green into it, and I also am adding accents of pink. And then for a table type dining table, I went ahead and grabbed one of the cheapest tables that I could find, and then some stools, and just placed them around, and that worked perfectly, and it's still adorable. Now for the beds, I went ahead and just did a toddler bed, and then I also did one of the cheapest actual beds in the catalog for the master bedroom. And then throughout the build, I'm honestly just using super cheap furniture. So if you wanted to, you could totally do more expensive furniture if you didn't like the look of those, but I'm kind of on a budget, so I didn't want to spend too much money. And then for the bathroom, I again am adding green accents throughout the whole thing, and I'm kind of just bringing the same color scheme throughout the whole entire build and just making sure the whole build looks cohesive. And then I'm also adding lamps. Lamps are a great way to color your build, especially when you don't want to spend too much money. Lamps are less expensive than ceiling lighting. Now again, with ceiling lighting, you want to make sure you're doing linen or maybe a cashmere. Do not do white or else that will hurt your eyes. And then for the toddler room, I'm just adding some simple decorations, which you can totally feel free to add more. I'm just giving you a little bit of a base, and then I'm just sprinkling some lights around, and that is it for the whole build. Now if you had some struggle with the interior part of the build, you can of course just slow down the video, and that's it. Okay everyone, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and if you are brand new to Bloxburg and this helped you out and you watched the whole entire video through, I want you to put a house emoji in the comment section. Also comment down below if you are a brand new Bloxburg player. I would love to know. And yeah, bye everyone, have a blessed day.
Yeah, this all God, this ain't no love. Yeah.